Good morning and welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday. There are times when a teacher wants to be able to randomly select students, be it for review quiz questions or for dividing a class up into different teams. Did you know there is an option available within Google Classroom to help you do this? It's called the Student Selector, and it can randomly pick students from your class roster so that you could either call in a student, you could skip a student to call in later, or you could mark a student as absent. The only downfall to this is the feature is only available on Android and iOS mobile devices so that you can't do it on a desktop or a laptop. So here I am in my Google Classroom, and I'm going to go into my Tech Integration Leadership class. And at the very bottom of the screen, you can see there are 3 tabs. There's the stream, there's classwork, and there's people. I'm going to go into people to get to that student selector. At the very top of the screen, in the right-hand corner, you'll see a square. It's just to the right of the Tech Integration and Leadership header. The square is made up of 3 small squares and a triangle. I'm going to tap on that image, and it brings me into the student selector. And you can see at the very top that there are 3 different categories: not picked, so I have 13 students who are not picked, picked, and absent. And it brings up randomly my first student, and I can choose to either call on Braden later, mark him as absent, or if I ask him a question, I would then just click on next. So let's just say I ask Braden a question. I'm going to go to the next student, so I'm going to tap on next, and notice at the very top, not picked category is down to 12 and the picked is up to 1, and it brings up Morgan. So I'll ask Morgan a question, tap on next. Maybe Joey's absent today, so I'm going to mark him as absent, and notice all my categories at the top, the not picked, picked, and absent, are changing as I do this to reflect what we're doing. So I ask Haley the question and I choose on next. I decide I'm going to call on Danny later, so I tap the call later. I'm going to call on Gage later also, so I'm going to tap call later. I'm going to ask Luke his question. I'm going to ask Kieran his question. I'm going to ask Laz his question. Sean I'm going to call on later. Kyle is absent. I'm going to call on Adam and go to the next student. I'm going to ask Dylan the question, go next. And notice it brings me back to Danny, who I had originally skipped. So I call on him now, and I'll go to the next student, ask him his question, and finally ask Sean his question. When I hit next again, it says, oh, you've selected every student in your class, end of session. Or I could start again. So notice at the very top, I've got 0 that were not picked, 11 that were picked, and 2 that were absent. So if I tap the start again, because maybe I've got a second round of questions I want to ask the students, it starts again, but notice it didn't start with Braden. So it randomly selects the students. Now let's say, I'm just going to run through these kind of quick. I call on a couple of kids, and I get through, and I don't know, maybe we have a fire drill. So we go outside for the fire drill and we come back in, and I don't remember which question I'm on. Or let's just say maybe I decide that I'm going to change what we're doing and we come back here. I can reset this. Maybe I mark Adam absent. Oh, but wait, Adam really isn't absent. He's here today. I can go back and reset this whole thing simply by tapping the reset button in the upper right hand corner. And it asks, am I sure I want to do this? I said, yep, reset it, and I'm back to 13 not picked. So that's Google Classroom's student selector that will randomly select students from the classroom roster, but again, it must be done only on Android and iOS mobile devices. And that is your Tech Tip Tuesday for the day.